one of the tougher weeks for us with two road games. I don't know, maybe we have two of these, um, maybe three, but I think at least two that we have where we go road on a Thursday, Sunday, and that's a tough week for us. So, but excited about the opportunity. Thursday, will be a challenge for us in a variety of ways. Very sound team defensively, offensively, got some good balance. And then, of course, experience, stands out. Let's be fifth year senior, Donarski, fifth year senior, Gopding, senior, Townsend, fifth year senior. So, really, when you look at their lineup, for their top eight, very experienced and been through a lot. We'll have to, our young front court will have to play against a very experienced front court. And that will be a real challenge for us.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go ahead and open up for questions. Jim, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Yeah. Hey, Carol. Is there a Toby update?
I do not have a Toby update.
Okay. Game loose slips, sink ships. Okay, I want to ask you about your defense. Your last two games you've played ACC teams, you've allowed 59 and 31 points in those two games. Holding an ACC team to 31 points is not something to take lightly. Can you talk about your defense, what it's doing well, and are there areas that can improve?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't been a great defensive team consistently all year. I think I've probably complained about that on a few of these calls. I do think that we are improving, that we're getting better, just with our positioning, with our angles, with our attention to detail on the game plan, understanding plays and personnel. Now you're starting to get to the season where you see not necessarily repeat opponents, but you see repeat actions. So they've seen some of the actions before or similar ones. So they're able to get a second look at it or a third look at it and maybe play it a little bit better than they did the first time. Even though we prepared for those in previous games, there's nothing like a live game rep to be able to get a feel for that. So I think it's a combination of those things. By no means is the headline Duke's defense is back. I mean, I don't think that is the case. I think you have to show the consistency over time for that to occur. So I agree with you. We've had, all three of our ACC games, even though one was very early, I think we've played really good defense in all three of those games. We'll see if we can continue that.
Let me ask you one quick follow-up. You mentioned how fundamentally sound Carolina is. I believe they're only averaging 11 turnovers a game. Forcing turnovers is a key part of your game plan. What are they doing so well in limiting turnovers, and how does Duke counter that?
Well, I don't. I've never felt like we've tried to force turnovers. Like I don't feel like we ever say to them, "Hey, we got to get turnovers." Um, we just play our style, and try to pressure, try to make certain things difficult for people. But we don't go into the game like saying we got to get 20 of them. Um, we just want to make things hard, and it's fortunately we've had really good players, and it's been an output some games of just playing hard and playing aggressive and playing physical, and we're able to create some of those. So I don't know if we'll get. Maybe we won't force them into more than what they average. I'm less concerned with that. I'm more concerned with playing solid defensive possessions. So, like to me, a turnover on the defensive end or forcing a tough shot or a shot clock violation or something like that, even though that's a turnover. But I think that's the end goal of the possession, not so much hyper focused on the turnovers of it. They're like I said, they're experienced, so um, you know they don't make a lot of mistakes. And he talked about all the seniors in the starting lineup. Navarre's a junior. Kelly is very, very wise beyond her years as a point guard and how she plays and her control of the ball and of the game. So, and then they have a fifth year senior backup point guard. So, they have a lot of experience and they are very sound in what they're trying to do. And certainly taking care of the ball has been a big part of, well, I would assume it's been a big part of their success.
Thanks.
Ranjan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Could you talk a little bit about the matchup on the interior, especially with them? You mentioned Gokdang and Utsby. What makes them so difficult to guard, and what are going to be the keys to at least trying to slow them down on inside?
Well, so like at this point in your career, there's not much that you haven't seen. There's not really any surprises for the two of them. They've both played in this league their whole careers, and they've played in big games. They've won big games. They've lost big games. They've had amazing statistical games. They've had games where they've struggled. Like, they've kind of like gone through the full thing. And that's any senior, that's in our league. I would say the same about Reagan. So when you've kind of been through it all, there's not much that throws you off. They're both very confident. They're both got relentless motors in terms of how hard they play on the offensive end and the defensive end, and they're strong. They're physical. They're competitive. So all of those things, and they play together. They have good chemistry together. They play together a lot. They play the lion's share of the game. They don't sub a lot. When you look at certainly the ACC play, their minutes have gone way up. So you don't get many breaks from them. They're going to play 35, 36 minutes. And so I think it's just, they're players that can impact the game in a variety of ways. They can impact the game scoring. They can impact the game rebounding. They can impact the game with their defense. They can impact the game with their effort and their motor. So they just have, a lot of different ways that they can help their team win.
And on the flip side, for you guys with Toby's status up in the air, Delaney will probably play a big role. And I know she had one of her best games last year against UNC and has been really efficient these past few games. What have you been most impressed with Delaney recently of late? And how do you see her continuing to grow moving forward for you guys?
Delaney's been a key cog to our team, the entire season. She did start off a little inefficient from the field, but has backed that up with really strong efficiency the last month. She's very dependable, and she has a understanding of what we're trying to do on both ends, and that has been great for us because that position group is, like I said, all freshmen and sophomores, and so it's nice to have that reliability. And I think she's become our most reliable forward in terms of understanding scheme and what we're trying to do and on both ends. And so that's been a big part of it. And then she's, a capable finisher, and also, capable rebounder, runs the court well, physical. Like she's got a lot of things going for her.
Thanks.
Jim, back to you.
Oh, yeah, Kara, speaking of post depth, with Toby out, Janessa Cotton got some serious minutes the other day. Obviously, she didn't shoot well, but with that exception, what are you seeing from her? And can she be a reliable depth option going down the stretch?
Khan's talented. She's got great skill, great poise to how she plays, and um, really good basketball IQ, understanding of how to play and combination plays, and defensively positioning strong. So there's a lot of things that she can bring to the team. Um, the consistency, and this is a challenge for every player, but in particular freshmen. Yeah, as a coach, you want to see the consistency in practice, and so for her, she's trying to be as consistent as she can be daily in practice, and then when opportunities come her way, be ready for them. So um, would not hesitate, um, to play Cotton in this game. Um, I think just like I didn't hesitate in Vegas to put her in against
Mm.
Kansas State and Oklahoma, right? So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to put her in if that's what we need, if that's the rotation that we need. She's preparing to be ready to go on Thursday.
Thanks.
Trayvon, over to you.
Thanks, Jalen. Hey, Coach. When ACC play started, you talked on this call about how important each game was between Thursday and Sunday. I have to ask, being local, with it, being Carolina with this rivalry, is there a little more umped, or do you guys just kind of go in with the next game mentality?
I mean, probably for the players it is. You probably, I mean, I think there's a little more juice for them. For me, it's not, but it's still juice. I still want to win it, but it's not more than another game for me. But probably for the players, yeah. I mean, it's a great environment, and it's a tough team, and they're the only team now that we play twice. You know, and so it used to be different, obviously, in our league, and now there's just one team. So there's a reason that they picked that team for us and the reason that they picked us for them, right? They only had a chance to pick one team. So, yeah, and then of course the fans and the community and things like that. I mean, everybody knows when this is the game, this is the week of this game. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't live under a rock. I get it. I just, like I said, they all count one. So for me, it's more of trying to lock in to focus what we need to do to win this game versus focus on everything about this game.
And if I could follow up, it seems like between you two, whether it's in Durham, whether it's in Chapel Hill, whether it's in Greensboro, it's always seems like it's been like a 1, 2, 3 possession game at the end of the game. What do you attribute that to? I know it's two really good teams that know each other really well, but it always seems like these games come down to the wire when you and Carolina hook up.
Well, I think we've been, and I could be wrong on this, so you have to fact check me, but I think we've been two of the best defensive teams in the league the last couple of years, and so it's just becomes a grind game because both teams play at such a high level on the defensive end, um, and it's just what it is, and then you add that to the fact that you're playing a second time or a third time in the ACC tournament. And so now, that familiarity makes it even harder to score and to execute. So that's what I think it is. They're really good defensively. We have not shown to defend at a consistent level yet. So hopefully we can hold up our end of the bargain in this matchup to be able to defend at the level necessary to compete and to win. But they have been a pretty good defensive team all year by the numbers. I haven't watched every one of their games, but the games that I have watched, a very good defensive team. And so we're going to have to execute well to be able to score. We can't just come down and think it's going to be easy to score. It's going to be a challenge for us to score.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach, could you just speak a little bit about the sophomore class and the impact and the growth that you've seen from them this season?
Already talked about Delaney a little bit, but Jaden continues to grow and gives us a lot of versatility on the defensive end, in particular, but it's some versatility on the offensive end as well, because she can get the rebound and bring it up. advance the ball after a rebound, which is good, and her athleticism, and then her commitment to the glass has really helped us this year. She's kind of taken charge of being the leading rebounder and be our most consistent player on the glass every night, which has been great to see. Alucci's continued her commitment on the glass, but is also having a better understanding of where she's supposed to be offensively and defensively. And, she started slow, efficiency wise on the offensive end, and she started to string together some good efficiency games. And that's been good for our group, and the hustle plays and the 50-50 balls and all those things that she does to help make winning plays. It's been good. And then, Woody might be our most improved player. When you look at, her growth from not really being in the rotation at all to now being a valuable member. Her efficiency stands out, from the field, from the three. And then also, she's a growing defender in terms of her length at 6'4" and blocks and deflections and her understanding of our schemes. So they all continue to play pivotal roles in our team.
Thanks, Coach. Any more questions for Coach Lawson? All right. If not, thank you for your time today, Coach. Thank you for joining us, everyone, and see you on Thursday.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Coach.